would an average day at work look like for you?
Yep. So I'm a software developer. So an average day kind of looks like pretty much like I have a standard software dev job. Basically, so you go work, you have stand up in the morning. And that's you kind of like go through and you're like, okay, this is what I'm working on today. Do I have any blockers? You talk to the rest of the team. And then my days either consist of me working on whatever tickets I'm working on for that sprint or that week, and going to meetings with like either a client or maybe I need to talk to like a third party like vendor or a third party or talk to anyone on the rest of the team.
What is your favorite part of your job?
Um, I think my favorite part of my job is that feeling when you get when something works after it hasn't worked for a long, long time. That stays the same. You never grow out of that feeling. I think that's kind of what made me go into STEM and what made me, what keeps me going.
So on average, you say you do tickets. Like, how long do each take?
It depends on the ticket. So my team does something called Scrum, which means we have like a 2-week sprint. So during that sprint, well, before the sprint starts, we get assigned like a ticket. So that'll be like, oh, hey, I need you to do this task or work on this and get something completed. And each ticket is assigned like story points. And that's like okay, we guesstimate this will take however long to get that done. So during that sprint, you work on the tickets that you're assigned to and you finish those.
How much schooling did you do to get to where you are today?
I have a 4-year undergrad and that's all I need. So
Follow up on that. Are there any like specific classes that you found like interesting throughout your undergrad?
um, that's a good question. I would say I really liked my operating systems class. I don't use it now, but that was a really fun class to take. And algorithms and data structure is something you're definitely going to use on, a day-to-day basis. So, because that get your fundamentals in and then figure out what makes you excited and go from there. But software is really cool in that, like, you can kind of, like you don't have to specialize right away. Like you can. What I do now for work is something completely different than what I majored in computer engineering, which is kind of like if you combine computer science degree with like an electrical engineering degree, and you learn more about like the hardware of like how a computer works and all of that stuff. And then now what I do for work, I work on like a website. And so now that I'm doing like more web dev stuff, which is something I didn't learn in school, but you kind of pick it up as you go. And as long as you're excited and you're learning something, you're in the right place.
Are there any mentors or role models who have significantly influenced your career? And how might their guidance and insights shape your approach to your work?
Okay. I would say I had a couple of really good robotics mentors, as you guys know. I'm also an FTC alum. So I had a really couple, my mentors in robotics is definitely kind of what got me into STEM and what, made me choose the career that I'm in now. And then also in college, I had some really good professors. So, and then also in my current job, I think I got lucky and I got blessed with a lot of really good, influential people in my life who provided some good life lessons. And the biggest advice, honestly, that I get is mostly encouragement and support. If I have like a question where I'm like, oh, I don't know, quite know what to do. I know I can always reach out to them and they'll, cheer me on and give me good advice.
What initially sparked your interest in STEM and how has that passion evolved over the years?
Yep. So my dad is an electrical engineer and that's what kind of got me interested in doing FTC and robotics. I was kind of like, okay, let me, I'll check it out. I wasn't like someone who's like, oh my God, I'm really going to love this. Like, I know this is what I wanted to do with my life before I joined robotics. Because I wasn't like super excited about like math or, science in school. So then I joined the robotics team and I was like, oh wait, I actually really like this stuff. And that then I went to undecided engineering, like what I like entered college with, and then, tried a bunch of different college courses, figured out what, made me the most happy and what I could see myself doing long term. And that's how I got into it.
And a follow up on that. So if you had to like do it all over again, do you think you'd stick like on the same path, or would you
Mhm.
try out a different like field of engineering or like?
I would stick with the same path. I think I got lucky. The college I went to Marquette, and kind of because I went in, and all engineers kind of take like a intro to engineering course, and they're like, okay, try a little bit of mechanical, try a little bit of biomedical engineering, try a little bit of electrical, try a little bit of computer. And I tried all of those, and computer engineering was kind of what was like, oh, I really like this. Is what I do, and what you do in FTC doesn't necessarily have to correlate to what you do post FTC, because I did none of the programming for my team, none of it, not at all. And so, it was kind of like I went to college thinking, oh, like maybe mechanical or something. And then nope, you kind of get grabbed and you're like, okay, this is what I find really interesting. But, like I said earlier, it's cool that, because I'm always learning, I'm always trying something new. And so, I think computer science is cool because you're never going to be bored, because there's always something new to learn. And that's what I really like most about it. So it keeps you engaged and it keeps you learning.
For someone that is just starting their journey in STEM, are there any like tips or like what you would do when it comes to balancing academic pursuits with personal growth?
I would say my best advice is, if you're stuck on a problem, take a break. Like walk away, go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, and make sure you're figuring out what that balance looks like for you. So everybody's balance is kind of different. Figure out how you study best too. That's a good thing to kind of nail down and be like, okay, do you study best with people? Do you study best alone? Do you need to like lock yourself in a deep dark basement to get, to be your most productive? Or, do you need to be around other people? Kind of figure out what works for you, and then make sure you have stuff going on too outside of work, or like outside of like college, join a club, do other activities, I'd say, because the balance looks different for everybody. So there's not like one way I could be like, this is the way to live your life, So that would be my advice.
All right. That's everything. Thank you so
Okay.
much, Meg.
No
Yeah,
problem. Was
thank
that
you so
helpful?
much. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.